Hello, everybody. This is Frankie Day for Frankie Day Models. Okay, guys, I've been working on the Iowa. I have a video for tomorrow, probably video number 8. I've been got to finish up a couple steps on this thing and go back and do some checkup, retouching, painting here and there that I must have missed. So before I was in the next video, so I'll probably head out for you tomorrow. Okay, guys, I'm all over the map right now. I decided to start finishing up. Well, I got started a long time ago. The topic of the video for today is the paper model by Heinkel Company at scale 1/200, which makes the perfect scale next to my battleship USS Iowa. 1/200. This is the USS Maine. It's ACR number one, which she was a second class battleship. At the time, she was a battleship, and she was built by Bath Steel out of New York. In particular, so stem to stern, she's 300, I think 329 feet long, about the size of a Buckley class destroyer escort. Not much bigger. They weren't very big back in those days. If anybody went to Pennsylvania in the harbor out there, they've got Philadelphia Harbor. They got the old armored cruiser USS Maine, USS excuse me, USS Olympia, Dewey's old flagship down the Battle of Manila Bay in 1898, Spanish-American War. So you look at that. That's part of the size this thing is. Everybody knows about the battleship Maine. A lot of people don't know about it. People don't know about it. I don't mind getting back into the history of it because it's a wonderful subject. It's something that it's funny. It's with mankind in general is always bickering, fighting, tensions going up and stuff. And at the time, Spain and America were starting to be like two bull goats going at it, and I was ready to lock horns. And all it took was just something to spark something. And at the time, the battleship USS Maine was sent as not to quail trouble, only if necessary. I guess the more or less as an expedition of showing naval might by America, by the Yankees. And she was there as for protection and also our interest there. And during February in Cuba out there, we crossed the equator, guys. It's hot out there. It's imagine, if you will, living in a compartment or living outside with over 100 degrees with more humidity on top of that. That's why you see all those people wearing white outfits all the time. It keeps the heat off. Yeah, and it does. And with a heat index of probably about 120 or 130 maybe sometimes, aboard the battleship Maine, you had no ventilation system at all. You had probably a few cowling vents just to let enough air to get in down below. And being a primitive design, but she was a new design at the time. And it also, she registered as naval might, a vessel to reckon with. And when she was when she was in Havana Harbor during taps, a lot of guys are in their bunks. A lot of guys were having card games and crap games going on, also amusing themselves with musical instruments. And the officers are probably out there writing out the plan of the day, the schedule. Captain Sigsbee was probably inside his wardroom, writing out a log of the ship. So far, no tensions have arose yet, and she's been there, out there probably over a week already. So that excludes the theory of a mine. At the time, when they at 9:45 p.m. at night, when taps was already piped down already, and guys are in their racks. So they triced down the hammocks from the overhead. Like I said a couple of seconds ago, a lot of guys are playing cards. I play cards a lot out of the Navy. Takes up time, takes your mind off things. And boom. And everybody assumed, thought it was a mine. At the time, it was a mine. They had no idea at all to really go through the ship and find out what really sunk the thing. Because at that time, there was no hardly no technology at all. And there was the only thing that could blow something like that up, it had to be a mine. They had a mindset that this mine blew the ship up. And it got us into the Spanish-American War, which was a splendid war of what, about 3 months, perhaps less. You got Teddy Roosevelt at San Juan Hill with Rough Riders. When he resigned his commission as Secretary of the Navy, he wanted to go up. You know, he was a very gallant, patriotic jingo. Nowadays, we ain't got jingos no more. And the man loved his country. And the rest is history. Well, as years went by, they had Admiral Rickover, the father of the submarine, of the nuclear submarine. He decided to, he wasn't too convinced it was a mine. He was a man without question, is a no-nonsense admiral. And he made sure no stones were left uncovered. I read in his book one time, he was really, as called, about the building of the Nautilus, he came back to the Maine. He said, things like this have not been conclusive. Not always puzzled me. I always like to adventure more and find out what the real reason is. Just like the Titanic, for example. The Titanic is no stones uncovered on the sinking of that thing. Everything's been done on it. You could make stuff up on it anymore. But going back to the Maine, of course. After Admiral Rickover, first thing he did, he obtained a set of blueprints. And with this set of blueprints that he had, excuse me, I gotta let this dog in. Every time I make a video here, that hound wants to come in and out. Stay in there. Yeah, excuse me, guys. I hate doing that. It's unprofessional, you know, getting up being a doorman for a darn dog. Okay, as he obtained the plan from it, he found out what really probably really happened, and it came to truth that's what it was. It was a design failure. With the design failure involved, it caused the sinking of the USS Maine. It wasn't done by the mine. The Cuban rebels, those guys had no technology of building a mine or even know how to operate a mine and plant it there. These guys weren't engineers. They were just out there trying to conquer imperialism and turf. But Admiral Rickover came, which I agree with 100%. The mine did not sink the Maine. It was a design factor that should have been overlooked before they actually built the ship. It's not a good idea, guys, putting a magazine next to a coal bunker. Next to that coal bunker, guess what? You got a big old hungry ass boiler right there. That's once coal. And back in those days, they didn't have Scotch boiler systems back in those days. No, they didn't have. They had just regular conventional steam boilers, and they had a coal bunker right next to it. It's like you have a fire going. You got all the killing right here. It's practically, virtually, it's at arm's reach to grab the coal and just throw it beside the boiler. And with it being hot out there, guys, it takes 500, 400 something degrees for it to catch fire. 500 something degrees. When it started getting hot, all the gun cotton and everything that was in there was actually had wood. And that wood caught fire and ignited the bunkers. I mean, ignited the magazines and boom. So that's actually what sunk her. Okay, I made a video of this probably about, good God, about 3 years ago. This is a paper model. I got the files. I got to dig them up. But I promised a couple of fellas that I'll send them the files, but never did because I don't know where the CD's at, and I'm going to have to get some more files that down, review those files so I can be able to find a way I can be able to send them to you guys. Which should be no problem. This one came out of here. This is how she looked back in 1891, I think it is. Or 1895, I'm sorry, 1891. Hell, she never killed, wouldn't even thought about that. 1895. Then by 1898, her superstructure was painted to buff. Okay, guys, this is a nice kit. Goes together very well. And just give you guys a little breakdown of the plans I give you. Remember, all car models are constructed in numerical order. You're going to make all those pieces right there. Here's the model. I was working on the folks last night. I didn't use the paper for these anchor cranes right here. These anchor Davids right here. These anchor Davids right here. I turn them from wire. I hooked it up to my lathe, and I got a little miniature lathe I got. I bought that down at Harbor Freight, and I turned it so it's tapered, and I went ahead and made these anchor Davids. And I got the spotlight tower over here. I had to cut out all this paper out of everything. And I got the skylights, companionway, two open space companionways are up here. I got the chocks on. I got the mooring bollards on there, which are bits. And yes, these turrets do turn. In fact, they go 180 degrees. And right now, I just finished up the stern. I got all the skylights. Next time I'm going to make the ship's wheels, I'm going to cut those out with a brand new fresh number 11 blade. The armament, the 6-pounders over here, I'm going to go ahead and put those on last. And right now, after I finish, I already got everything done, what I need right there after I get those ship's wheels on there. And I got to get a cowl vent. Then I'm going to start making the catwalk. It goes over here into there. But firstly, this white area has got to be cut out. I should have cut it out before I installed the superstructure, but it's no big deal. With a good number 11 blade, I just follow the opening and it'll open up for me. And so the catwalk fits across here, up there to the main superstructure. That's the only way to get around the ship. Because remember, you got two 10-inch barbettes right here. These are 10-inch barbettes. There ain't no way you're going to get up here forward by traveling through the barbettes. If you didn't have that catwalk across here to get up in this structure here, you'd have to crawl. You have to walk underneath this 10-inch barbette and come back up, go up this way. There's probably a ladder taking you up there. Yes, there is. There's 2 ladders that goes up. They'll take you up to the section here. That way it's quicker. If you're up here, you can travel quicker this way. When you're on the deck, that's the way to travel. It depends. This barbette can swing exactly forward this way. That's probably what it was to see. They probably had it triced up open this way. But the barbette was actually facing forward. They go around this, travel this way. And you can't go this way because you're blocked by this big barbette. I think, yes, you can. You can walk in front of here. But anyway, make a long story short, up here is a lot quicker. Just take a catapult, catwalk. Well, I get that catwalk done. I got some trim work I got to do here. And I'm going to start working on the bridge. I started getting the funnels on there. There's a lot of scratch stuff going on in this thing too as well. It's pretty difficult to build. This thing here is a nice kit. I myself know I'm probably the only guy in YouTube that's got a model of the USS Maine paper that's building it. And it can be out of balsa wood or plastic. I'm probably the only guy. I guess no popularity to the old spit and polish Navy. These are very clean ships. They were coal burners. People will keep on saying, "Doggone, Frank," he says, "how the hell you keep those things clean? You got a lot of coal dust. That's why you can form an in crew. You got first division, second division. That's your deck apes, your knuckle draggers. Their job is to keep this thing clean all the time. They do, very clean. That's why the old saying years ago, actually, the Spanish American War was the first Navy, along with Spain, that used battleship gray. When they go to battle, it's all gray color. We weren't at battle nobody with this thing. That's what got us in the Spanish American War, the USS Maine. It's a beautiful ship. I like it very much. Put it over here. I'm gonna probably get this going too pretty soon. I had this Airfix kit for years. This is Suffolk. I think it's the Devonshire sister ship. I think it was now used in the pursuit of Bismarck. They scrapped it back in 1958. Beautiful ship. The color schedule was all buff and light gray. For the Airfix 1600 scale, we were very constant desire to collect these Airfix ships. These things are old, but with skilled hands and time and everything, you make these things look very, very, very pretty. I mean, especially with the photo etch aftermarket parts out there. Here's what I was going to show you. I'll be shaking on this too, just messing around. Keep my hands moving. I dug this out of my storage. I had this thing for years. Now Lindbergh's got it now. This is original kit by Pyro. What makes this kit so special? And it comes in a box like this. This hull was already painted by the company already. I'm not gonna disturb their work. Where their hands left off, the airbrush left off, my hands will take over. I will mask this green to paint this hull a gray color, pretty close to the color that it is. And of course, it had weathering to it. These are back in the 70s. No, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Back in the 1980s, this here boat alone was actually the first plastic radio control subject made. I think Lindbergh got a hold of it. They made the radio control version. They gave you the stuffing box, the prop, and everything. They tell you get a servo, make a servo motor out of it, and take out the guts out of that servo, hook up the servo. Same thing they did on the Carol Moran Newman stuff. Same thing. And all you need is a radio unit. And guess MRC Tamaya at the time were in the radio too. And to give the ship's crew here too, some of the bagging. You don't get that anymore. This thing cost $3.49. I got this kit back in 1961. I think I paid about $3.49 for it. Same price all these were. That's how much these things cost. Lindbergh's got them now. But it took a lot of money. That was a lot of money back in those days. Jeez. When you start got pennies and that, hey, and try to, I had a paper route. That's how I bought my models. My dad taught me about self-reliance. My mom and dad did. Learn how to take care of myself. That was my job. I made a lot of money out there at the beach out there. I used to live out in California, Ventura. We used to have these big old 55-gallon drain drums. They used them for trash. And man, back in those days, people were very drifty and careless with Coke bottles. I used to go out there, get a big old cart, load my cart up full of Coke bottles, go to the store. Man, I had cash every day and plastic every day. So I'll be shaking on this too pretty soon. I got about 5 hours more on my HMS Dreadnought. Went back and get some more painting here and there. We've had the forward fire control station, which is 4 masts, also the main fire control station. And a lot of PE too with that thing. The mast, like I told you, I made it out of brass tubing. I shit can the mast that comes with the kit. It's flimsy. It's actually as useless as tits on a bow. Ain't no good. Military modeler Paul and also Jack Riley. Greg Riley. Excuse me, Greg. And they did theirs the same way I did mine. It's strong. Yeah, stuff like that's very welcome in plastic. You want a piece there, you doubt. If you're in doubt, stay out and get yourself do it the right way. That's strong. That'll support rigging. So I got more videos this coming up. So I'm kind of working on things that I haven't started for long, that I haven't worked on for a long time. It needs to be worked on. So I'll be in this for a while. Bounce right back on the Iowa. Like I said, I did some work on it. I got three ventilators that got put up, and then I'm on the superstructure. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Most of the time I spent about 5 hours I spent just a touch up painting right there, using these. Don't be bashful, fellas. I learned a very valuable lesson. When you got close up work, ohos ain't the same like it used to be. But right here, this is the best there is. The second eyeball. That'll get you out of trouble real good. So when everything's good at close, camera ain't gonna pick it up. Because all that camera is nothing but a big old magnifier. It'll magnify everything you got that you can't see with your regular glasses on or even with your naked eyes. Anyway, you guys know how that goes. Anyway, that's what I got shaking today. So I got the Battleship Maine going on, and probably have a couple of videos that probably coming up before it's over with. So stay posted for those. Tomorrow I'll have the Iowa out for you tomorrow, and I got more coming on the Dreadnought too. She's coming on really nice. I'm about ready for PE on that. I just got to do the boats on there, get them all painted up. It's gonna take a lot of time for that. Get all the boats on there and install same. And next thing is just dock it out with PE and rig that bad girl up and put her on her favorite display, and she's done. I got Titanic's yelling at me too. I got to get her going. I like the way I did those decks right there. Came out really damn good, I think. Yep, I'm pretty happy. Okay, guys, I'm getting out of here right now. I got work to do on this thing, and I get some chow prepared, get some supper going. It's getting pretty much that time to eat some chow. But I'll be back on. Continue shift's work. Okay, this is Frankie Dave Model signing off. Take care, Mama. Take care of the little ones. Stay focused when you drive. Spend wisely. Get yourself a kit or finish up the kit and you got your stash been working on. Enjoy, guys, and You guys take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for your wonderful comments, candor, and views. I'm very deeply happy from my foretop to the keel. Okay, the Maine says thank you, and I say thank you. I'll see you on the next video. That'll be on the hour. So stay posted for that too, pals. I got that shaking your way too. This is Fake Dave for Fake Dave Model signing off. I'm out of here, boys. Take care of yourselves. God bless you all.